anybody you see talking about their 1/4-inch gas gun is not shooting enough. They're cherry picking groups, something. I thought it'd be fitting to do a video on the original proper SPR, the MK12 Mod 0. Okay, last round. Ineffective at 1,000, completely ineffective. Couldn't hit a 1 MOA target. With the recent popularity in SPRs, I thought it'd be fitting to do a video on the original proper SPR, the MK12 Mod 0. There's the MK12 Mod 0, Mod 1, and the Mod H. Early 2000s, this idea was basically just the upper receiver itself, had different scopes on it and stuff, but the principle still exists today. It's still pretty popular. This gun originally was developed for that purpose. Basically, it extended the capabilities of the normal infantry squad or infantry teams, whoever had it. SEALs, Army Rangers, Marines had it, but the Mod O was the originator to the whole SPR concept. This is a pretty clone correct. I shouldn't say clone correct because somebody will lose their mind. It's pretty close replica build. A2 stock, normal lower. I did put the ergo grip on it. You'll find photos of them with the ergo grips on them, so anybody that's a hardcore cloner, don't lose your mind. 20 round mag, standard upper. This whole upper came from PRI. Since I've replaced the barrel with a Lilja straight contour, and then had Tyler Perry at Perry Precision contour for the collar and the AEM suppressor. Also, the optic at the time sucked. You had loopholes, night forces, terrible reticles, pretty iffy magnification ranges, so that also got an upgrade to the Tangent 3-15 with the Gen 3 XR reticle. On top of that, now that we are in 2024, Picatinny, I don't want to say it's dead, but with the use of tripods, ditch the hog saddle. It has an Arca rail on it now, and the Harris has been upgraded to the Atlas with an ADM Arca adapter. So it's still pretty much what it was originally, just with a few updates and upgrades. PRI gas buster charging handle still, the original rail on it. It is in a Badger Unimount now. Geisley national match trigger. And then also I added a flush cut. We're not using the old shitty issued 3-point slings or duct tape and 550 cord. So that's pretty much it. The misconception with the SPRs and 5.56 stuff is that guys expect something like this to be like a sniper rifle and have that kind of accuracy. And despite what you do with an AR, barrels, receivers, all that stuff, the platform itself just does not lend you to that kind of accuracy. So I want to show that today, but I want to show that it's not the end of the world if you don't have a 1/4-inch gas gun. It's still super effective to 6, even 800 yards. It's not like a sniper rifle. It's not as inherently accurate as that. Anybody you see talking about their 1/4-inch gas gun is not shooting enough. They're cherry picking groups, something. They just will not do it. If you're an inch, inch and a half in a gas gun, you're going to be well within the needed accuracy for the applicable targets for 5.56 and the range that you're going to engage. So this thing to 600 or 800 yards is totally usable at that 1 to 1.5 minute range. And we're going to show that. I'm going to show it on paper as well as on steel. We're going to put the trigger cam on here and run us out as far as we can and try and show groups on steel or just effective shots on certain size targets. Okay. My preference is wrapping a thumb around the grip. Guys will float the thumb like it's a bolt gun or something, but I find that I get better accuracy and consistency with it if I have a better grip on the gun. So gonna check 0 here, shoot a group, probably 10 rounds just to show what it can do, and then we're gonna go straight out to distance on steel as far as we can either hear it, spot impacts, till we can't connect. So I'm just gonna turn the trigger cam on now. Bolt went all the way home, that was nice. Okay, top right one, Alan?
Yep.
Okay. $27.24. $27.18. $27.64. $27.12. $27.25. $27.36. $27.42. $27.59. $27.21. $27.37. Extreme spreader 51.9 SD of 16. Likely probably just one or two that's really high or low. Again, in a gas gun, we're only going to shoot, you know, 600, 800 yards, so not the end of the world on this platform. And it's not meant to be a hyper accurate bolt gun where we're going to shoot half MOA targets. I won't ever expect to shoot or hit anything like that. So you'll see that group there in this spotter. Let's move on to distance. This is 300, easy with pretty much anything. You can take an 11.5 with a red dot on it and hit this at 300, so it's not gonna be a challenge. After that, we're gonna go to 400, which is gonna be right at 2 mils. Okay. Same mag, same ammo. Trigger cam is recording. Okay, 3 on it real quick. Okay. Now to 4. Come up 2 mils. Let's actually do that IPSC. That IPSC's at 420, so I'm just gonna go 4.2. Okay, on to 5. That's probably going to be right at 3. Unfortunately, there's not really any wind today to demo how inefficient a 5.56 bullet is in the wind. All right, it's going to look like I'm not aiming at the plate, but on the other side of the grass, there is one. Ooh, hit the edge there. Okay, good at 5. Move to 6. 6, I think it's 4.5. 4.5. Let's do the center circle.
Center circle.
Yep, because that's a what? 10-inch?
Yeah, real close to. Bottom of the plate.
Yep, bottom of the plate. Okay, I'm gonna come up 3. So you can see how faint those are at this distance. So there's not much energy left. I think it's about a 9 mil at point blank, but doesn't sound like a whole lot. So let's go to 7. Again though, we don't have IPSCs out here, but you know, an IPSC size target is the intended use for this gun. Is
there's a true IPSC at 7.
Fast fire at man-sized targets. Okay, so it's calling for 6.2. So let's see what that looks like.
There's an IPSC at 7.
Okay, IPSC at 7. So I'm gonna try and just shoot the IPSC at 7 as fast as I can. It's slightly covered, but let's see what we can do here. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna go 2 left.
Perfect center shot. Woo.
Okay, so impacting there at 7. Yeah, not much time between shots, just enough to hear the hits. Hopefully, I'm sure you guys can't hear them in this, but maybe. Can you see him in there? Yeah.
I bet you cover that whole shot group up with your hands.
Oh, really? That good? I can't see it. The brush is covering it. Okay, so we're gonna move to 8. 8 is 7-9. Nope, we're gonna go 8-1 here. 8-1, it's calling for the big plate.
Yep.
Okay. Hopefully in the Swaro you can see these. This is really too far without a spotter for 5.56 to figure out what you're doing. I guess really unless you're shooting some super dusty environment or where you're gonna pick up splash easy, but any veg or anything like that, you're totally gonna miss these. Okay, out to 8. We are on that big plate. Actually, yeah, we'll just stay on that big plate if you send the bolt home.
Impact, dead center.
Okay, I can hear them hitting, but I can't see anywhere they're at.
You wanna see it?
No. Are they good or bad?
For 800 yards, not bad. Going to 9 or going to 1,000?
I'm gonna go to 9. We got the IPSC at 9. So this is where it's gonna kind of get sketchy with the bullet because you are way outside of what the BC is probably gonna be super consistent at. So this is probably really where we're gonna start seeing a lot of elevation issues. Okay, 900 yards, Iron Maiden here. Let's go 2 left. Hit.
Can't tell where. Dead center line low. Next shot.
Okay, these are super faint, but I can hear them. I cannot see them.
Belly button.
Okay.
Got the vertical line of target.
There's 900. Like I said, these are, you know, the BC here is probably equivalent to shooting a 6 mil at 1400, something like that. Like this is way outside of the reach, but obviously super effective. You know, suppressive fire for a squad if you don't have sniper support or something at the time. So now we're gonna move out to 1,000. Is that an Iron Maiden out there too? Okay, so this is telling me 13 mils. So 13, let's see what we got here. Okay, I can really only see the upper half of this IPSC. So I'm just gonna hold on him.
Belly button.
Man, it's just so faint out there. I'm gonna go for that 10-inch plate. To the left, there's a 10-inch plate at 1,000. That berm's really dark. I'm not gonna be able to see any misses probably. Maybe on the trigger cam it'll pick up. We'll see.
Off left. This high. This high.
Okay, last round. Ineffective at 1,000. Completely ineffective. Couldn't hit a 1 MOA target. But for what the gun's made for, totally capable.
Pretty good. So you gonna close it out?
Yeah. Okay, so you just saw groups at 100, long range out to 1,000. Didn't really see hits at 1,000. There was one hit we thought we heard, couldn't really see it in the spotter. but 900 and in, super effective. You can see at 100 yards, the groups were completely acceptable for what this gun is. An inch and a half, really there were only like 2 flyers. For this video, I didn't want to get into different zeros and stuff. We were just dialing for the different distances. You could do different zeros. You could do like a short range point and shoot zero if you wanted to have a point and shoot distance to say 300 or whatever and then hold over from there. Or you could do like a speed drop zero where you have basically you would dial and then every mil or every mil in a tenth would be what your distance was. So 400 yards you would be holding 4 mils over. For this application, a little bit more effective. You could also do a max point blank zero, which you would zero this at, say, we'll just say 250 yards or 300 yards, and you would do it 6 inches high. That would allow you to shoot everywhere from muzzle to 300 and only be 6 inches high, and then that would probably take you out to 500 or so on a specified vital zone target. So you basically have a 6 inch high, 6 inch low area where your bullet would climb or drop. That would also be a applicable zero for this, again depending on what you're doing. So the group's at 100. You could see the majority of it, 80-85% of it, was within 3/4 of an inch or an inch or so. And there were those 2 that were high left flyers that stacked right up on top of each other. Whether that was me or the gun, I don't know. So the biggest thing with ARs that people ignore or don't want to admit is with the system, the gun may be capable of it, but most shooters won't be. So you'll see a wandering zero. You'll see somebody shoot. You'll see somebody shoot groups, and they'll have a 1/2 inch group here, 1/2 inch group here, 1/2 inch group here, and they'll be like, "Oh, my AR is a 1/2 inch gun." Well, really, it's an 1.5 inch gun if you take the spread from the high part of the group and the low part of the group, which is what you will see with gas guns if you shoot enough or break positions enough, if you do what a gas gun is intended to do. The other thing that you should do if you're going to group any gun, especially a gas gun, is you want to group it and print it on paper how you're actually going to shoot it. If you are just shooting your gas gun prone off a bipod, off a bag, or maybe you're going to shoot it out of a lead sled with a bag or whatever, it's not applicable to what the platform is. The platform is a positional, for sure positional, rarely prone platform. So you want to see what the gun's going to do from there. It doesn't matter if it groups 1/4 inch prone off of a F-class front rest and a leather slider bag, because you're never going to shoot this gun like that. If you see people get off their bellies, crouch, kneeling, whatever, you will see groups open up, and you'll see a point of impact shift that will widen that group. So first shots we did out at 300 yards, probably a 6 inch group or bigger on that plate of steel, but all I was doing was just showing the speed of it and walking it out. Basically, we just ran it straight through. I didn't want to cut it, reshoot, do anything like that. What you guys saw was how we shot this. Standing off the tip of a tank trap is the worst, I guess, position, and gave this thing the best chance to be bad, instead of the alternative of shooting prone from a bench or prone from my belly out to 1,000. Again, not what this gun is going to be used for at all. 400 yards, same deal. Took a little bit more time, or 420, took a little bit more time, and was a little bit more accurate, but just because I wanted to print that a little bit better just so you could see how that would look at that distance. Again, zero issues. I could stand there and mag dump on that target at 420 yards with no problem. Okay, from 4, we went out to the 500 yard line. From the 500 yard line, you could see, even with correcting from the 2 right side hits that you saw, still a really good group, probably 6-7 inches, bringing that 3rd shot over to center. It swings the plate, but not super hard. That is a big, like 24-inch plate. It still has good energy at that distance. It tapers off fast after that though. If you go back to 600 yards and rewatch that, the difference in energy between 500 and 600 is super apparent. 600 yards, you're on a 12-inch plate. It was barely hitting them or barely giving any feedback. And at 500, it's swinging that big 24-inch plate. So you can see how fast the energy from even a 77 grain drops off. At 600 yards, that first shot went under the target, and I saw the splash of that in the dirt. Brought it up to basically the top of the target you saw me hold, and barely grazed the bottom of that target. I was just going off memory as far as dope goes, and that got me close enough. Again, that was a 12-inch circle. Applicable size target for that would be a 30-inch-ish vertical target. So no issue still hitting and still being effective there. Threw on an extra 3/10 and then stacked 2 right on top of each other in the center. Past 600, we went to the 700, we went to the IPSC there. 2 hits on the right side, added some wind. You saw 1 or 2 shots drop off the left, took that wind call, cut it in half, and stacked 3 right in the dead center of that IPSC. I was actually super impressed, super surprised by how good it grouped there, because you are starting to get into a velocity variance where you'll see elevation changes. Obviously the group size at that distance is a cone that's going to open up, and then BC variance as well. So the consistency between bullet to bullet and how they fly through the air. From 7 immediately went to 8 and took 3 shots there. Again, we didn't go out and measure the group size, but I would say you are a 10-inch group or so there. I think that plate was 24 inches wide. So those 3 shots that were kind of clustered just like this, again, out of this, I was very impressed with the elevation consistency. I held the same spot. That one was on the bottom half, and then you had 2 more vertical like this, and really they stayed pretty consistent. I think that plate's 12 or 18 inches tall. So again, well within your human torso intended target. So after 8, we just went straight to 900. There's the iron mic there. I'm not sure how much bigger those are than a full-size IPSC. Honestly, had way less trouble impacting than I thought. I didn't expect to get so many impacts in a row without any misses. So at 900 there, you saw consistent impacts on a man-sized target, but with a lot of elevation variance. That really goes into that 50 feet per second extreme spread you saw at the beginning. You know, whether that's onesies or twosies that are high or low. A couple stacked right on top of each other, which kind of really surprised me. And then the rest, I mean, everywhere from the neck, shoulder area all the way down to the belly button, but still super effective. If you were prone, would it be better? I don't know, but we got what we got there. Still 5.56, 77s at 27.20-ish at 900 yards, super effective. They probably only have 250, 300 foot-pounds of energy there. I still personally don't want to be standing at 900 yards downrange of a Mark 12. 1,000 yards, there was the 1 MOA plate, which is just 10 inches, and then the full-size IPSC or iron mic out there. Again, run into the velocity BC consistency. You can see the one hit up above his head on the berm, and then it looks like one skipped low maybe. There's a little tuft of dirt you can see. That's all we shot at that one. And then moved on to the 1 MOA plate, 3 shots there. If that was a 15-inch plate instead of a 10, I think all 3 of those would have been on. But again, a little wind drift difference, a little elevation difference, and just the group dispersion of the gun at that distance is big enough to make you miss a 1 MOA plate. Not what this gun's intended for. It is not a 1 MOA gun. I like to kind of say this is a 2 MOA platform if you can get the wind figured out. The Mark 12 Mod 0, super capable platform. You do have a 4-ish inch reflex part of the barrel, so you still don't have an unwieldy package. I have some extra stuff on here now, filming this after the fact. Figured I'd throw my thermal on here, my Vortex rangefinder. If I was gonna go night hunt or shoot this at an unknown distance, depending on what you're doing, this is kind of how I would have it set up. There's a lot of caliber chasing, trying to make the small frame AR a more capable setup. I think a lot of people expect more out of the gun than what it's capable of. I also think that the platform as it is way more capable than people give it credit for. The fact of the matter is that short AR mag limits you on what you can do for bullets. Stuff like the 6 Max, 6 Arc, you still only can get so good of a bullet. The 6 Max, a 90 grain 6mm bullet, barely has a better G7 BC than what a 77 SMK does. You're shedding 100 feet per second off of it, and downrange, it's gonna come out in the wash. You will have a lot more energy, or more energy with that 6mm, but again, not what this gun is intended for. This gun is intended for integration in with a bunch of other 5.56 platforms. It does you no good to come out with a 6 Arc or 6 Max when the rest of your team has a 5.56. You can shoot 55s out of this. This one pushes them about 3,100, but the 77s at 2,700, 2,750 give you much more long range capability, much better performance in the wind, and retain energy way better. I didn't want to get in the history of the gun too much. Grand Thumb actually just put a really good video about the MK12 Mod 0 with way more history about it. You can go look up that stuff. I didn't want to bore everybody with it right off the rip. I want to get straight into shooting, show everybody what it's capable of as a 5.56 with basic hand loads, nothing crazy. But if there is anything else you want to see or do more of with this gun, let me know below and I'll work on something a little bit more in depth. If you want to see that speed drop, or you want to see a max point blank range 0 on steel, we can go out and see what the effective range is, point and shoot, or, you know, a real dummy method, or maybe a more accurate employment of the gun versus just its range capability. We also have a gas gun series around here that we do. I could roll some gas gun footage or just footage of this at gas gun matches, maybe how it compares to 16-inch, 14.5, 11.5, something like that if you want to see. Thanks everybody for watching. If you liked it, leave a comment down below. I don't care if it's nice or hateful. Anything you say helps. I'll argue with you in the comments if you want, or anybody else can argue with you. Like it. Sharing it's probably not going to do anything, but feel free. Definitely make sure you subscribe though, and let me know if there's a day or time that you would prefer videos to drop. We're going to try and be more consistent with putting videos out. We have 6 in the pipeline right now to drop, but I want to consistently drop them and release them at a time that people like to watch. So definitely let me know. You message me on Instagram or leave it in the comments down here. I want to hear what you guys want or what you guys want to see if you have any other videos. I don't have a ton of guns. We have 0 sponsors, but nothing like the big channels. Anyway, hope you liked it. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment something hateful if you want, comment something nice, comment how bad Mod 1s are compared to Mod 0s, whatever you want to do. Most importantly though, go shoot your gun. Go test your gun. I would have never believed anybody if they said, yeah, I can run this out to 900 yards, no problem, standing. Wouldn't believed it. So it's great to test the capabilities of whatever guns you have, whatever systems you have, and know what they can do. Shoot them on paper, shoot groups positionally, shoot on steel. You'll figure out real quick that bug holes on paper don't translate directly to capability downrange, because there's so many more factors downrange that come into play. It does not matter that your gun isn't a bench rest rifle.